In this video, let's talk about DJI's new Inspire 3 drone. All right, real quick, this is Video Brand. Special thanks to our sponsors for helping make this NAB coverage possible: Metricool, Massive, Adspective, Vestigit, and OpenReel. All right, now back to the video. All right, we're here with Ferdinand from DJI, and we're gonna walk through the new Inspire 3.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ferdinand. So
there's a lot of things to cover and try to make it as brief as possible, but there's actually, huge upgrades and a lot of different aspects. Let's start right away with the aircraft body. So you directly recognize it as like an Inspire. So we kept a compact and ultra portable form factor. Can still, like as a single person, strap it on a backpack, throw some batteries in, hike up a mountain, no worries. We have new batteries, CB51. They're still under 100 watts, so you can still travel with it on board of an aircraft, can still take the batteries on board of an aircraft. So that's all things we took over from the Inspire series, what made the Inspire series so popular. But under the hood, there's actually a lot of new things. For instance, we integrated most of the external parts of the i2 in the body, like the Inspire FPV camera. That's really, really important. We have a very much upgraded sensor, so this is larger and low light capable, so you can basically fly at night as long as you have some light sources. It has a wider FOV, so that we're talking about 161 degrees, which is very comparable to what you normally have on an FPV drone, which makes it very easy to navigate and maneuver through complex environments. It also features a low latency image transmission system, so you can basically fly the Inspire FPV style, right? So you don't necessarily have to be line of sight. You can use the image quality of the FPV camera is good enough to fully navigate with that. That's what you see here. That's not the main camera, that's the FPV camera, right? Right. Then we also integrate the obstacle avoidance sensors in the aircraft body. It's omnidirectional, so up, down, and all around. You can freely configure the system this time. So if you don't want the drone to stop or bypass automatically, like as professional drone operators, you don't want that. You just want some warnings, so you know if you're close to an object, but you don't want the drone automatically to interfere with your flying. So here we have a new system that I can show you, which basically acts like the park assistant of a car. So you can configure acoustic and visual warnings and customize them. So you know when you're backing up against the wall that you're close, right? So you can position yourself even if the FPV camera is facing somewhere else. We're also using a new SSD type compared to the i2. So this is the same SSD as we use on the Ronin 4D, 1 terabyte. And the nice thing, it comes with a USB-C connector. So you don't need any card reader at all, nothing custom anymore. On set, you just give that to the DIT, he can read it, copy it, and give it back to you. Then we rethought the transformation mechanism. That's like the iconic thing of the Inspire series, that you can lift the landing gear to rotate the camera. But you always had some limitations in the up tilt of the camera. So when you wanted to up tilt the camera on the previous Inspire generations, you had kind of a limit. So now we have in a lower landing gear position, we have a very wide stance, and also the aircraft nose is lifted up. So you can tilt up the camera 80 degrees while still having the feature that you can put it all the way down. So what you can do now is go from -90 to +80 degrees. There's other drones, heavy lifters, where you can top and bottom mount cameras, but then you always have to choose. You want to tilt the camera up in horizontal or down in horizontal. Here you can go from low to up or from up to low. So this is something very innovative, very new that you wouldn't find on any other drone. When you retract the landing gear and put it in the upward position, you will see that the stands get to an H-frame configuration, so it's more narrow, and it's also steeper than on the i2. So we have 15 degrees more angle here that gives us, even in the retracted position, more upward angle when facing the camera to the side and up. and especially if you do aggressive camera movements or flight maneuvers where the drone, tilts, you have more clearance of the landing gear. So this is something very important for pilots and gimbal operators. Let's come to the heart of the system, our main camera. So we now upgraded our Super 35 from the X7 previous generation to a full frame camera. It's a purposely built sensor you won't find on any other camera. It's 8.1K shooting at 75 frames per second at 8.1K. If you go to 4K, you can shoot super slow motion at 120 frames. It goes up to 14.7 stops in dynamic range. It's a dual native ISO sensor. Base ISO at 24 and 25 frames is 800, upper ISO is 4000, so it's super clean at night. And basically, with the color science system that we took from the Ronin 4D, it matches with the very best of cinema cameras on set. And that's very important for an all-integrated drone, because that basically tells if the drone is allowed on set or not. Right? So with this camera, you don't have to worry. You will be able to match the very best of the industry standard cinema cameras. On the remote controller side, we're now using the RC Plus, which is a huge upgrade to the remotes we had before in the Inspire series. It's weatherproof and rugged, so you don't get dust on the gimbals anymore. Has detachable antennas, integrated 1200 nits ultra bright display, 7-inch. It's so bright that you can read it without any problem in bright daylight, even in a desert. Don't have to put a shade or a hood on it, which is very useful because you sometimes want to operate it via touch. We're also running the DJI Pilot 2 app from our Enterprise series, but customized for Inspire 3. So that's a very robust and reliable foundation, software-wise, and not based on the consumer series anymore. We also have a lot of customizable buttons and dials, which is very helpful for professionals, and the ergonomics are heavily improved to all the previous controllers. So you have a retractable belly stand that makes it easy to hold the controller like that, and we also have a very nice harness that you can put on that doesn't put any stress on the neck or your back, so you can basically have the remote controller attached the whole day. And a very nice thing is that we integrated an external battery now, so you can hot swap the battery, but still have an internal battery that lasts for over 3 hours. This lasts for another 3 hours, so you don't have to turn down the remote the whole day, which is very useful on a professional set. And we also have hot swap on the drone, so you can easily put one battery out, pop a new one in, and on the other side, so you don't even have to power down the drone. Okay. Also very, very good for professionals. You still have a constant signal, you don't have to turn the system off. On the software side of the drone, we integrated a new waypoint system that comes right out of the box, so no need to install any third-party apps anymore. And the waypoint system, because it's all integrated, is extremely easy to use, and you have two different modes. One mode is called repeatable routes, where you fully program the flight path and the gimbal operation of the drone. So you can 100% exactly repeat the same shot all over again. No matter how complex it is, you can repeat it 30 times at different daylights, at different seasons of a year, and then in post or in VFX you can merge the shots, and they're like centimeter level precise. We get that precision by having now 2 antennas in the drone, GNSS systems in the drone, and we're also using a set of sensors to get like an internal orientation without the need of the compass, because the compass in the past has always been prone to interference, very hard to control. So in a normal environment, we don't use the compass anymore in this drone, only the GNSS antennas with the optical sensors, and that has 2 major benefits. So first of all, you don't have to recalibrate your compass anymore that often. You know, in previous generations, you went to set, you often had to recalibrate the compass. Now you basically don't. You can even travel long distances without recalibrating the compass. And another great thing is, if you do a 180-degree turn of the gimbal, it stays level. On previous generations or other aerial gimbals, the gimbal operator often has to compensate the roll on the gimbal. If you do a 180 turn or a 360, this stays locked. So this is like a huge benefit for gimbal operators. We also have an integrated RTK support on this drone. So you can use our RTK base station as a reference point, and with that you achieve the centimeter level precision, which especially is useful if you do those repeatable routes. And you also have a second mode on those waypoints, where you, which we call 3D dolly. Basically, you program a flight path for the drone, and then the pilot can move the drone along the flight path only with one stick. So you can fully control the speed. It's like a track in the air, like a 3D dolly or air dolly. The gimbal is fully controllable, so you can easily adapt to the action on the set. So with 3D dolly, it's kind of a semi-automatic mode where you can adapt to the action. And both modes really open up new ways in filmmaking, because you can achieve shots that were impossible before. Extremely complex, extremely precise, and repeatable. So on set, it's very efficient to work with that. If you have to repeat a shot, no worries. And you know, on a big set, you often have to repeat shots. The flight path will always be exactly the same. The pilot just has to worry about the speed, very easy to control. Gimbal operator has always the same flight path, so very controllable for him. So that's a huge upgrade.
What kind of flight time can you get?
Flight time is similar to I2, which is great because now we have a full frame sensor on it. So it's about 28 minutes, but it always depends on the environment, right? Another great thing, we also integrated several different professional codecs. So you can shoot Cinema DNG RAW, 14-bit. You can shoot ProRes RAW. You can shoot ProRes 422. So yeah, the most industry-leading standard codecs are all integrated.
Did you say it was the first one that integrates with wheels now? Or?
Yes, that's another nice thing. We integrated our O3 Pro image transmission technology, which goes up to 15 kilometers, which is around about 9 miles. So very far, you can penetrate buildings, other obstructions. You don't have to fly that far, of course, but it's just very reliable. We upgraded the image quality tremendously. The link is way more robust. And there's one big advantage of the new technology. The pilot and the gimbal operator, they have separate links. So on the i2, you had to be standing together because there was a link between the remote controllers. On i3 now, the gimbal operator can stand on one side of the hall, the pilot can stand on the other side of that hall. As long as you have the link, the direct link to the drone, dedicated link, it's not a problem, which makes it very easy to work on set, because most of the time the pilot has to walk around and check the flight path of the drone, while the gimbal operator has to stay with the DP or the director. So that's all possible now with the O3 Pro. We also support 4K transmission with a limited range, but it's very helpful for Ultra HD broadcast applications. And the cool thing is we support our hybrid monitor, which you know from the HD transmission and the Ronin 4D. This opens up a gateway to our DJI ecosystem, so you can connect the master wheels. As you can see, I can control the gimbal with the master wheels. And I also can use the Ronin 4D hand grips and control the gimbal with this joystick, and also control the focus with this wheel. We also support the 3-channel follow focus system we have, which will be released soon from the Ronin 4D. So you can connect it to the hybrid monitor and work in a 3-operator setup: pilot, gimbal operator, and focus puller for complex focus operations.
Cool. And what's the pricing for different models?
Yeah, so the price is $16,500. It comes with 6 batteries, 1 terabyte Pro SSD, the remote controller, a charger, basically everything you need to fly. Yeah, so you're good to go.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching the video. For more of our NAB videos, be sure to check out our playlist right here, and be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.